The recent failure of BNP Jamaat combined to ensure zero turnout at the recently held polls add to the long list of debacle that engulfed the so-called opposition in Bangladesh for around 1.5 decades since the polls held in 2008. While BNP failed to garner any public support in 4 consecutive polls, political observers put the blame squarely on the top leader of the outfit, Tariq Rahman, who has been running away from laws, leading a luxurious life in London. Fled the country in September 2008, giving bond to stay away from politics, Tariq stood exposed and convicted for perpetrating a world of crimes when her mother ruled the country, extorting money from foreign companies in exchange of awarding public contracts, plundering public welfare fund, funding militancy, sheltering terrorists, and colluding militants to physically liquidate liberal politicians. Let's take a look at how Tariq, isolated from public, staying 4,000 miles away from London, contributed to the downfall of BNP, turning the once born in Barrack Party as one of the most unpopular ones. 2024 polls, thwart polls decide the fate of the country on streets. What Tariq exactly invented as his motto for his party cadres and loyalists as key to grab power that, according to political observers, acted as the staple for enforcement of blockade in the months leading up to polls. Over 30 days of blockade by BNP Jamaat Combine saw over hundreds of vehicles torched, over 20 lives perished, and the country has suffered over billions due to such undemocratic acts. While Tariq and his loyalists were confident that, pursuant to such policies of destruction, will ensure zero turnout, but the reality appeared completely different, as over 50 million people casted their ballots defying the blockade. Disrupting the academic activism of 40 million students has been another key tool for the BNP Jamaat Combine, as education institutions were attacked and buses carrying university students were also torched and vandalized. In his own admission, Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir admitted that BNP has failed completely to garner support from youths, a testimony that analysts believe led the party to unleash violence on students to keep them away from politics, a move that backfired. Destabilizing campuses and holding hostage academic lives of 40 million students are key marker for BNP to keep the students away from politics. Another key feature of Tariq-led movement was threats to assassinate the prime minister from public rallies, with call to restaging 1975-style massacre that saw 19 family members of the father of the nation assassinated, and the 21st of August-style grenade attack on then-opposition leader Sheikh Hasina in 2004. 2018 polls. It is not only about arson or blockade to derail polls that come out of Tariq's playbook, rather targeting massive unrest on education campuses and targeted assassination of top leadership within different allies and then pass the blame on Awami League are another plot that Tariq brought in display in 2018 polls to cover up debilitating organizational weakness in polls. As Tariq led BNP from London in that polls and the party offered candidates for the election, he made a fortune by making quick bucks through extorting aspirants for issuing nominations. Even a large number of popular BNP leaders eyeing party tickets held demonstrations in front of the party office and vented anger on Tariq, calling him a swindler. According to media reports, Tariq tasked a group of party cadres to physically liquidate Dr. Kamal Hossain, who led the opposition coalition figure, and then put the blame on Awami League, but went in vain. While at the outset, Tariq, aware of his sullied image before national and global community, allowed his party to accept the leadership of an octogenarian lawyer days ahead of polls, BNP leaders had become vocal about Kamal taking over the leadership to destroy his leadership. However, sensing imminent defeat, Tariq asked party men quit race just hours before the polls ends and launch a disinformation campaign to discredit the polls. 2014 polls. The time has come for all of us to prevent and boycott the January 5th polls, what Tariq directed to the party cadres ahead of the 10th parliamentary polls held in 2014, a template to grab power without participation of voters. Between 2013 and 2015, arson attacks saw over 100 voters were burnt alive and thousands injured who are still bearing the burnt and demanding trial of BNP Jamaat arsonists. Moreover, BNP, with principal ally Jamaat, also attacked minorities in 32 districts, burning down worship places and houses, among others. On the other hand, a series of blockade till 2015 also saw the country lost billions and millions were pumped in for lobbying to draw foreign support to justify arson attacks and undemocratic demand for thwarting polls. Even in 2015, education institutions were targeted at the behest of Tariq to disrupt academic activities, as media reports suggest BNP leaders were tasked with engineering clashes over occupying Dhaka University residential halls. A few deaths during such head-on confrontations could destabilize the government, reads media reports quoting BNP leaders.